From having a third leg, kinda, to an unusual looking spell card, and finding lost items. Hello, Magi here, and welcome back to another episode of Interesting Touhou Facts, the series where I talk about facts from Touhou that I find either fun, unusual, or simply interesting. So without further ado, let's begin the Interesting Touhou Facts number 44. Number 5. As you may recall in the last video, I talked about Koishi's theme and how it might have referenced people, especially in the psychology department. I want to talk about a spell card of hers called Embers of Love. Look at the spell card for just a bit and tell me what you see. Yeah, for those who've browsed the internet for a long time, it shouldn't take you long to realize what it visually was. There's a running joke that the spell card is a reference to the phallic obsession of Freudian psychology. And just like I mentioned, if you notice the object's specific shape, then Freud might be right. Number 4. Did you know that the lovable Orin has visited the Yarormyr temple at least twice? I want to be talking about one of those visits. In Symposium and in Aya's article, Orin was brought to the temple by Byakuren and the others because there was a zombie guarding the cemetery and they wanted Orin to communicate with the zombie. Turns out, the zombie was Yoshika. So after the two girls chatted for a bit, Orin explained to the Buddhist crew that Yoshika doesn't want to hurt anyone. After completing her mission, Orin was able to take a few corpses as payment and return back to the underground with them. I must say, it could have turned out a lot worse for Yoshika if Byakuren decided to bring in someone like Reimu or Marissa. I can imagine the two would have annihilated Yoshika to get her to move instead of talking. Number 3. Would you believe me if I said one of the girls was actually a blacksmith? I shit you not. In Wild and Horned Hermit chapter 27, during a day called Koto Yoka, a bunch of yokais decided that they could mess with Reimu because her weapons were weakened during that day. Biggest mistake for them. A weakened Reimu is still a scary Reimu. Anyway, during the event, Kogasa was one of the yokais who had gotten beaten up. The thing is that she wasn't actually trying to fight Reimu, but instead was trying to sell her service. After fixing up one of Reimu's needles, they knew that Kogasa was legit in her service. Now you may be asking how an umbrella-wielding heterochromia yokai would have some mad-ass blacksmithing skills. It looks like the one-eyed yokai, who Kogasa was based on, even though Kazin was questioning that, was a dope blacksmithing yokai and she somehow inherited the skills. Kogasa does her job and replaces Reimu's needles. Reimu was unable to pay the bill though. Instead, Reimu used the new needles on Kogasa instead for quality testing. Scumbag Reimu at her finest. Number 2. I want to talk about Oku and her design and how it got a little tricky for Zoom to create her. So with her current appearance, she has long dark brown hair, wears a white short sleeve shirt with a red eye in the center, a short green skirt and a green hair ribbon. On her right arm, she wears a device reminiscent of a nuclear control rod. She also wears a cape that's white on the outside and a starry pattern on the inside. The cape is kept aloft by her black wings. Her right foot is encased in a congealed matter, representing the elephant's foot of Chernobyl, a mass of cooled radioactive material and glass. Her left ankle is orbited by electrons. We got the basics down, so why was it somewhat tricky for Zoom to design her? As mentioned, Oku ate Yadaguratsu, as mentioned before. Now Yadaguratsu is a 3-legged crow. Imagine Oku with 3 legs. Actually don't, as that's kinda creepy in my opinion. So in an interview with Kara May Volume 8, Zune mentioned that he tried to keep her from being indecent during the design process by adding a cannon on her arm instead of having an additional leg, thus solving the analogy of the third leg of the Yadaguratsu. And I'll say this, thank bloody goodness, as a 3-legged Oku would seriously scare the living shit out of me. Number 1. Now Nazrin has a pretty cool ability that can help you out if you've lost something. Her ability is finding sought for items. As stated, Nazrin's ability is being able to find specific objects that are being looked for by someone. In order to effectively utilize the ability, she must have a clear, concrete image of what she is looking for. She presumably uses a pair of dowsing rods to aid her in this effort, which she uses to find gold and treasure, and also is able to order the mice under her command to assist her. Remind me to join her in one of her adventures. The mouse and the dowsing rods, freely using a pendulum, perform dowsing. It seems like the rod and the pendulum are utilized in battle and are used as a shield and as a tool for fighting Damaku. Furthermore, each end of the dowsing rods appears to have a letter. The left one has N, north, and W, west, while the right one has S, south, and E, east. Nazrin owns a pair of dowsing rods, which she uses to find gold and treasure. She employs the rods and UFO to search for the lost pagoda of Bisho Mountain, as well as the fragments of the flying storage. The origin of this is probably due to a legend where a trial was ordered for Oki Inushi to marry Sasuhime. There, a mouse came back with an arrow that Oki Inushi was searching for. However, for the method to be due to dowsing is not quite accurate, and the standard of searching at the time is unclear. Furthermore, as the ability itself is always ancillary, in the end, she searches at her feet. It also seems like for the sought for food items, they're devoured by the mice before the food can come to her hand. Well, that's what happens when you let mice help you find food. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. Which facts were your favorite? Do you think Reimu's a big asshole for attacking Kogasa after she got Reimu a new batch of weapons? Are you glad Oku had the arm cannon instead of a bloody third leg? Or would you like to join Nazrin in finding treasures? As long as it ain't food anyway. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe, or Reimu might come to my place and use those needles against me for quality testing. Like always, this is Magi, and thanks again for watching.